You're not a police officer.
A Florida woman is accused of using a family member's old police badge to tell off a man in a Walmart parking lot. So when he took the video of the interaction to local law enforcement, they had no idea who she was, despite her claims that she was an officer. Their investigation would lead to her arrest, all because of a parking spot. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, we got a bizarre story for you, to say the least. We have this argument over a parking spot at a Florida Walmart store that escalated into a woman's arrest for allegedly impersonating an officer. Okay? Going to talk about it. Going to show you clips from all this. So I want to bring in trial attorney and federal litigator Alexis Rosenberg, not only because she's such a great guest, but is it also because the suspect in this case is also named Alexis? No relation, not the same Alexis. Does this do a disservice to all Alexises across the country when I tell a story like this?
That's funny, Jesse. I can say that I have never had an altercation in a parking lot of Walmart. So
well,
I don't know.
There you go. There you go. Well, but a parking lot in Target, that's a different story. But Walmart, no. Generally speaking, do you see cases of people accused or convicted or pleading guilty to impersonating an officer? I mean, how prevalent is this? How easy is it to do? I know there's laws in the books about it. We'll talk about what she's facing.
Well, I think your first question is how prevalent it is in Florida for this sort of altercations to be happening in Walmart parking lots. And there's a reason that we have the tagline Florida Man. This is definitely a Florida woman. Yeah, it's pretty prevalent for people to get in arguments in parking lots in Florida. So that's not unusual. I think that what is unusual in this case is the fact that she was impersonating a police officer. And is that an everyday occurrence? No, but it does happen, obviously, that we have laws on the books about it. So it does happen.
I don't know. I'm not one for the whole Florida man thing. It just happens. Yeah, we get a lot of cases from there, but I feel like, it's unfair. It's unfair to Florida, but I hear you. I understand your perspective, but let's talk about what happened here, okay? So this all started back in May at a Walmart neighborhood market store in Port Orange, Florida. 41-year-old Alexis Rosati had allegedly written out a citation on a random scrap of paper and left it on a vehicle, and this was a spot that Walmart offers to law enforcement partners as a courtesy, okay? So when the driver of the vehicle saw her, as well as the fake ticket, he confronted her, and recorded portions of that argument are on his cell phone. Take a look.
There's no statute.
You'll be towed.
There's no statute. No, there's not. Show me the statute. Is there a... You're the police officer. Why don't you look it up? But why don't you look it up? But you should already know it. Good. Tell me what the statute. Tell me what the statute is. Does it say anything about the car would be towed? You're not a police officer. No, you're not. Not with teeth like that. Not with teeth like that. Ma'am, you're not a police officer, ma'am. You're flashing a badge around. It says Bellevue. She's just flashed a badge. Excuse me, ma'am. She's flashing a badge around like she's a police officer, and she's not. She's not a police officer.
Can you leave it alone, sir?
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
But you guys going to tow my car?
No, but just...
Thank you. So you heard what she said. Your cars can't be towed. You're not a police officer. Why are you flashing a badge at me, telling me you're a police officer and you're not? You're going to be in trouble for that.
Where would I get a badge from? You buy it off the
You just carry your badge around when you're off duty?
I'm not off duty. How do you know what I'm doing?
You're on duty with Crocs on?
Do you know what I'm doing right now?
I don't care what you're doing.
I don't care what you're doing. You broke a rule.
That's not a rule. There's a difference between rules and laws, ma'am.
That's
a rule.
You did not get a ticket.
You can't give me a ticket. Give me a ticket. I'm going to stay. I'll be right out here. Please give me a ticket. I'm asking you, please. Assaulting an officer? Nobody saw me assault her.
By the way, I got to ask you, have you ever been in a meeting and you're like, what did we just talk about for the last hour? Maybe you're part of a conversation and you're like, what was their name? What were they talking about? I wish I was recording it. Well, let me tell you real quick about Claude NotePen, okay? So this tiny, wearable, AI-powered device has changed the game. So I wear mine as a wristband. You can also clip it on, pin, maybe hang it like a necklace. During law school, early in my legal career, I really could have used something like this. Even now as a host, total cheat code. Why? So whether it's meetings, interviews, quick brainstorms, the NotePen catches everything. It transcribes in 112 languages. It automatically tags speakers and drops everything into this clean, digestible summary. There's no more messy notes or lost ideas. It's not just a recorder, by the way. It actually acts like a hands-free assistant, pulling insights, organizing information, letting you stay fully in the moment. So if you want to make the most of your time, it's time to try the Claude NotePen. Right now, you can get 10% off. Just click the link below or scan the QR code on screen. Hope you can check it out. Okay, a lot going on here. So Rosati claims on video that she's an officer from, a different jurisdiction. The man she's arguing with, Jason, told police that she pulled a badge out of her pocket that appeared to say something similar to Bellevue, and that's when he started recording. Alexis, where do you want to begin? The Crocs comment, the teeth comment, following her back inside, her saying she's not on duty, off duty, you don't know what I'm doing. One of the things I captured that said to me is, people have cell phone videos, right? It becomes evidence in all of these cases. You can't escape what's going on here. And you look at a video like that, you wonder what piece of evidence this is going to provide in maybe an upcoming case.
Well, the first thing is I love the Crocs statement. You can't be a police officer if you got Crocs. I love that. Or you're wearing Crocs. So I wanted to start with that statement. So I think I actually had a situation and got a call where somebody was parked in someone's spot that they bought at a charity auction. And they got very upset and blocked them. And the police were called and they were being threatened with false imprisonment. So, I mean, the individual was correct in the sense there is a difference between there being a statute, for instance, like a handicap spot, where you could get a ticket for parking in that, and then a courtesy reserved spot, which is what we had in this situation. So even if he was parking there and a police officer came, he wouldn't get a ticket for being parked there. Now, should he be parked there? No, but it isn't against the law. As well as though I'm not sure it was so smart for him to follow her back in there. I think he made his point and got on the record, with the recording, with the badge and all of that situation without having to follow her in there. And I did find it humorous that he went up to the Walmart worker like she was going to do something about the situation in the video.
Yeah, so Jason thought this whole thing was pretty sketchy. So what did he do? He took the video to the Port Orange Police Department.
I parked where it says reserved for law enforcement.
Okay.
Partners.
Do they have that at the neighborhood Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew they had it at the.
I park there sometimes. I have a bum foot today, so I was like, I'm just going to run it. I literally had to run and get.
That's just a courtesy. There's no law against it or anything.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you're telling me that somebody said something, so.
So
okay.
this is the.
Here, I'll hold it.
This is the note that I came out.
Somebody left this on your car?
I have her on camera too.
Okay.
She's flashed a badge at me, and So I went into Walmart to ask them about the note and about the parking.
Yeah.
Can I get towed for parking there? They said absolutely not.
Yeah,
I guess the person who wrote this note overheard. So I was like, whatever. I'm walking back out to my car to go home, and I found this. Well, I found that first, and when I was walking back from Walmart the second time, she comes out, flashes her badge. She's wearing, I think, white shorts, Crocs, and a tank top.
Seemed like
I'll
off
show you the
duty
video. I can show you
type,
the video.
or was it like professional wear? Like, did it
No.
look like she was working at the time? Right?
No, she claimed that she was on the clock in Walmart working on something in Walmart. Walmart asked the managers, because she was talking to the managers.
Yeah.
Asked the manager. She says, "We don't know what she's doing. She may be working," is what they said. I said, "Okay, well, whatever." So I called you guys to see if y'all could come up with a name. You see where she signed it and printed it.
Yeah.
But That's hard to read. It looks like barbell or barn bell. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But anyway, she flashed the badge, and then I went. Of course, I started recording. And,
Okay, so
I have that.
hopefully I should be able to see who it is if it's
Yes.
one of our people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now there is a Bellevue, Florida. It's nearly 2 hours away from Port Orange. So the investigating officer makes a call to that department to double check that this wasn't, some sort of huge misunderstanding.
Good afternoon, Bellevue Police Department.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Sergeant Fischetti, and I'm with the Port Orange Police Department over in Volusia County. This might seem weird, but I'm trying to find out if you have a certain officer that works there, to kind of give you a quick heads up. So there was a kind of a, not even an altercation, but some words were exchanged between some people here at the Walmart, and one of them tried to identify themselves as a potential Bellevue police officer.
No way.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know why they would be way over here. They even said, well, they showed a Bellevue badge or something, but said they work here in Port Orange. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to turn out to be, but one of the leads, I just want to see if this is potentially somebody who works there, because they left a note on their car. They wrote that their name was Officer, they put a first initial J, but then the last name of like Barbell or Baskel or something with a, what's that?
Butcher?
No, it's not Butcher. It looks like it ends in ELL, maybe starts with a B, so somewhere between like B, and it's going to be a female. Female, brown hair, maybe late 30s, maybe 40. I'm not sure how many officers you have there, if you would know basically everybody that works there.
Yes, oh no, trust me, I know them all. We don't have
Okay.
many.
Okay.
And this was recently, right?
This was just, within the last hour or so, probably, last couple hours. It was earlier today.
Okay, we have Sergeant Esquivel, who she has dark hair. She's in her early 30s, though, real skinny.
No, so this lady was a little bit heavier set, so no, definitely wouldn't be considered real skinny.
Let's see, we did have one. She's no longer here.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Sergeant with Port Orange, please. Apparently somebody was at Walmart posing as a Bellevue officer.
Yeah.
And yeah, same thing. Yeah. Hold on, just a
Okay.
That's Chief Holland.
Hey, Chief, it's Sergeant Fischetti over at Port Orange Police Department here in Volusia County. So just kind of a wild shot here. I don't have much information on here. A gentleman came to our lobby. He was over at the Walmart here, and our Walmart, they have like this courtesy like law enforcement parking spot, and he's not law enforcement, but he had parked there because he's not disabled, but likes to be close. Anyway, so he's in that spot, and somebody kind of confronted him on like, hey, you can't park there. And he's like, basically like says who, and this person says, well, I'm a police officer, Bellevue Police. May not even be Bellevue, Florida. It may be, it could be, there's plenty of Bellevues all around the country. Didn't get an actual spelling, nothing like that. But then she says, well, I'm working over here in Port Orange. Because he's like, well, you're in Port Orange. She's like, well, I work over here. So it doesn't make sense that you're a Bellevue Police, but you work over here. But she actually ended up leaving a note on his car, like, Port Orange Police has been notified, things like that. And she signs it, Officer, first initial J, but then like Barbell or Baskel. You can't really read the last name, but it definitely looks like a B and ends in ELL.
I have had no females like that.
Okay, yeah. He actually recorded her. So, I mean, if you don't have him, there's probably no reason to even go through and even watch the videos and stuff like that. But she, like, from watching it, she doesn't give me the vibes of being a police officer. She kind of seemed maybe it might be a mentally ill person just claiming to be, I don't know. Yeah, so I was thinking that route also, but I just wanted to double check with you guys before I start maybe looking at some other things. Maybe even somebody impersonating an officer, I don't know. But,
I mean, I've got one female officer. She's accounted for here.
Yep. Okay, yeah, so definitely can't be over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk to me, and I just wanted to make sure.
Follow up on these things, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Yep.
And the officer also takes a look at surveillance video from inside the Walmart store. And it apparently shows Rosati walking up to that Walmart employee that was seen in Jason's video And the employee provided a sworn statement to police saying that Rosati identified herself as a police officer and held up a metal object, which could have been the same police badge, but the employee wasn't sure. So, Alexis, a couple things here. First of all, you know, the fact that Jason actually went to police, doubled down on this, the officer then contacts the police department in Bellevue, a lot of steps to try to confirm what's going on here.
Well, the police do take it seriously if somebody is trying to impersonate a police officer. This can be extremely dangerous. I mean, you could have somebody that's pulling people over, faking, and putting other people in danger. So they do take that very seriously. But the fact that Jason went up there and took it that far, that, you know, that says a lot, that he was obviously very disturbed by it as well. And I mean, come on, the arts and craft ticket. I mean, it took a little time for her to write that out, I gotta say, which is also interesting.
Yeah, but people get so fumed. They get so angry when it comes to parking spots or road rage. Unfortunately, you see these kinds of things blowing up. Maybe not in this fashion, but you see a lot of this, for whatever reason, people are on edge like this.
Well, I think driving is stressful. And then I also think that people go and they can't find a parking place and they think somebody's being rude because they're taking up 2 spots. So I agree with you. It is something, and a lot of just minor fender benders and arguments do happen in parking lots. That's not unusual.
Now, here's what happened, okay? As it turns out, a different officer had been dispatched to Rosati's home that same day for something entirely different. You see, there was an investigation uncovered that Rosati is a caregiver for her uncle, a man named James Barkell, talking about the last name, Barkell. So police were concerned that Rosati might be misusing Barkell's money and that Barkell might not be aware of what's going on because of his mental decline. So when the officer went to speak with Rosati about it, he had no idea about the confrontation in the Walmart parking lot.
Are you Alexis?
I am.
You want to go back inside and talk? Or you want to talk out here?
No, we'll talk out here. My dad's inside.
Okay.
Is it about the situation that just happened at Walmart?
So yeah, it's something with the DCF. They called us just to come out and do it like an investigation.
This guy is a jerk. He complains all the time at Walmart. What he did was he was parked in the law enforcement parking spot. So I left a note on his car that said, "You've been warned. This is for law enforcement. What if there was an emergency?"
Okay, I don't think that's what I'm here for.
What?
Or are you talking about? Or sorry to continue. I think you might be explaining a different story, but
That's the only. What's DCF?
Department of Child and
Oh, I don't know anything about. What's that about?
So you work with Jay.
He's a retired police.
Yeah, but you help.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you work with him, right?
Yeah, but my dad was just. You want to go inside my? Yeah, come on in, because this does have to do with that. I thought this was that asshole at Walmart that
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
If they called, we didn't do anything about it because.
Yeah, come on in, Officer Coach. My son's asleep, so.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it down.
Okay.
So, when the original investigator looking into the police impersonation claims came across a report from the other officer about James Barkell, he realized that Barkell could be the name that's scribbled at the bottom of the fake citation. So the police, they go back out to Barkell's home where they find a police badge and ID inside of a black wallet assigned to the now retired James Barkell of the Belleville Police. Now, Alexis, the pieces are starting to come together.
Yeah, this isn't good for her because, you know, he's elderly and she's stealing from him, allegedly, or it appears to be that she's stealing. So at least being investigated for it. So there could be a subsequent charge for exploiting an elderly person, and that is a felony. And the state of Florida does take that very seriously as well because we have such a large elderly population in Florida.
Yeah, and when police went back to Rosati's home to arrest her, they discovered she had been driving her uncle's car, which had a second police badge inside. Officers confiscated the badge to return it to Barkell, and according to police, due to her uncle's poor health, it's unlikely he knew that she had had the badge or had been using it, or allegedly using it, to impersonate an officer. So after Rosati was placed into handcuffs, the arresting officer notified her father, who also lived at the home, of what was going on here.
Hey, we have a unfortunate situation here, okay? Alexis is going to be placed under arrest, okay? I'm not sure if you know about, did you tell him about that whole incident at Walmart
No,
or
I
anything?
didn't get a chance to.
Okay. Do you want me to get into it with him?
Go right ahead. He's
So,
got a note.
the day Officer Coates came by earlier that day, she had a confrontation with a gentleman over at the Walmart market here. While she had a concern, a fair enough concern about an individual parking in a law enforcement only spot there. While addressing that with them, she identified herself as an officer and actually wrote a note on there like, "This is a warning from the Port Orange Police." Ended up showing them this badge here and saying she's an officer. So unfortunately, of a serious, the incident itself never really turned into anything serious. They ended up going their separate ways, things like that. But in general, something like this could be very serious. Somebody impersonating an officer, whether it be with a badge or blue and red lights on their vehicle.
Can we have that badge, or are you keeping it?
It's going to go into evidence for right now.
Because
But
that's Jim's badge.
yeah, no, I know. It'll be returned to him. But I'm not just going to leave it here to, I don't know where it ends up. So we'll make sure it gets back to him. He's got another one. We actually seen another one at his house while we were over there. But yeah, obviously it's something that we want him to have. But just back on the fact of just the potential seriousness of the incident itself in its nature, we are going to make an arrest on it today. She is going to go down to the Volusia County Jail. She will have a bond if that's something you want to work out, so she's not staying there tonight.
Well, how severe is this thing?
It is a third-degree felony, so it's a felony, the lowest level of a felony,
Yeah.
but it is
It's
a
a
felony charge, yeah.
Okay, and what are the...
Bond's probably going to be around $3,000 total. Usually through a bondsman, if you go through them, they want 10%, so you're looking at least probably like $300 as up to a bondsman.
And I've got that in my bank account. I can give it right back to you.
But that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, didn't I say something to you? I said, hey, look, you're not an officer.
I know.
Because I've seen your car parked there. And it's like Jim was with me. Well,
Jim was
that's
with
probably
me.
fine, but...
Oh, parked at the law enforcement spot?
Yeah, it was Jim with me.
The far on the left.
Yeah.
Closest to the...
Yeah. Well, this was an incident of another guy parking there, and she said something to him that
I
hey,
said something to him.
you're not law enforcement, you can't park there, and which really anybody can. It's not like it's a handicap spot that's finable. You can't be fined for parking in that spot. It's just something that Walmart puts up for if an emergency vehicle or something has to go there.
Yeah, courtesy.
Yeah. But yeah, she actually addressed that with him. You mind? That's not like a knife or anything. You mind just setting that in
this
there?
is a shovel.
Okay. You mind just putting the? You're just standing there with like a blade of
the weeds.
No, I know. But, so yeah, that's just kind of where
So
where
is
we're
there
at. I
any
don't.
way this thing would be dropped because it's what, like, her offense?
It could be. I mean, that's up to the courts going through the
Does she need
system
an
and
attorney,
stuff.
or
So
does she say, look, Your Honor, I was used to bring in a police officer with me.
I'm not going to give like legal advice on what
Yeah.
somebody should
Yeah,
say
I
or
understand.
anything. You can hire an attorney. If not, the state provides an attorney also. So if that's up to you if you want to do a private one or go through the state. That's for you guys to. I mean, that won't be later down the road anyway. She'll get booked today, but can be out today if bonded out. If not, she'll see a judge tomorrow. I think at 8 a.m. on the weekends. So if you can't get her out tonight, you'll.
Oh, that's right, it is Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, you have the court appearance at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Arraign?
Well, it's not really an arraignment. It's first appearance. They have to have it within 24 hours. An arraignment is more of like when you're formally charged, which will come down like a couple months. That could be a little while before they even get to that. So if it even gets that, if something can be addressed in between then. I don't know. I don't know how it'll play out.
Yeah.
Our involvement kind of ends here, and now it's up to the state attorney and the prosecutor's office as far as how they're going to handle the case. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, obviously we knew you're here, so we wanted to find you and let you know what was going on. But any questions for me or anything? She'll be able to call you here in a little bit if you want to finish your work
just
up and
call me when you're ready, and
Yeah.
we'll decide if you stay the weekend or we'll come
or
in and
that.
do
Yeah, whatever you guys wanted, whatever you wanted to decide. So, all right. Well, I appreciate it.
Alexis, what do you think?
I think that was a very detailed given explanation to him by that police officer. Is very specific, and I think because the father was also a police officer in the past, it gets down to the fact that now we know what the motivation was. She had been parked in that spot. That was her spot. So she must have pulled up allegedly and sees that someone else is there, and she gets mad, and this is what ultimately transpires.
Now, she was charged with impersonating a police officer. She was released on a $3,000 bond. She apparently spoke with local news. Local news outlet WESH claimed that Jason had zipped into the spot so quickly that he almost hit a woman walking in the parking lot, so she felt like she needed to do something, needed to intervene, but she admitted that showing Jason her uncle's badge was a step too far. According to Volusia County court records, Rosati entered a no contest plea to the impersonation charge at the end of May, was given 2 years of probation. She also had to pay nearly $1,000 in court costs and fines. Alexis, all in all, end of the day, seems like a reasonable conclusion.
I think it's a reasonable conclusion, and she might want to change her name to Karen.
You said it. I didn't. Alexis Rosenberg, good seeing you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.